Welcome back.
Hi everyone. Can you guess the worst NRL player from every team by errors in 2025? Don't forget to comment your final score. Let's begin. Question 1. Can you guess the worst player from Cowboys by errors in 2025? The answer is Robert Derby, and based on his last 17 games, he made 35 errors. That's like 2 errors every game. Question 2. Can you guess the worst player from Sea Eagles by errors in 2025? The answer is Jason Saab, based on his last 15 games in 2025. He made 26 errors. Question 3. Can you guess the worst player from the Sharks by errors in 2025? The correct answer is Ronaldo Mulitalo, and based on his last 19 games in 2025 season, he has made 34 errors. That's a lot. Next question, can you guess who's the worst player by errors from the Dolphins in 2025? The correct answer is Jermaine Izako, and based on his last 19 games in 2025, he made 22 errors. Question 5. Can you guess the worst player by errors from the Eels in 2025? The correct answer is Zach Lomax, who tops the 2025 errors list at 38 errors in his last 14 games. Next question. Can you guess the worst player by errors from the Brisbane Broncos in 2025? The correct answer is Reece Walsh, who made 28 errors in his last 13 games in 2025. What about the Panthers? Can you guess their worst player by errors in 2025? The correct answer is Thomas Jenkins, who made 20 errors in his last 17 games in 2025. And for your information, all these stats are available on NRL.com. Next question. Can you guess the worst player by errors from the Titans in 2025? The correct answer is Jaden Campbell, who made 20 errors in his previous 15 games in 2025. Question 9. What about Knights? Who's their worst player by errors in 2025? The correct answer is Dane Gagai, and based on his last 19 games in 2025, he made 28 errors. Next question. Can you guess the worst player by errors from the Dragons in 2025? The correct answer is Tyrell Sloan, and based on his last 16 games in 2025, he made 29 errors. Next question, folks. Who's the worst player by errors for the Warriors in 2025? The correct answer is Dallin Watner-Zelezniak, who made 21 errors in his last 10 games in 2025. Question 12. What about Melbourne Storm? Who's their worst player by errors? The correct answer is Grant Anderson, and based on his last 18 games in 2025, he made 27 errors. Next question. What about the Bunnies? Who's their worst player by errors? The correct answer is Jack Whiten, who made 23 errors from his last 14 games in 2025. We're on question 14 now. Can you guess the worst player by errors from the Bulldogs in 2025? The correct answer is Jacob Kiraz, and based on his last 13 games in 2025, he made 22 errors. Next question, folks. Who's the worst player by errors from the Tigers in 2025? The correct answer is Jareambula, who made 21 errors in his last 14 games. Question 16. What about the Roosters? Who's their worst player by errors in 2025? The answer is Mark Nawaqanitawasi, who has made 34 errors in his previous 17 games in 2025. Final question, guys. Can you guess the worst player by errors for the Canberra Raiders? The correct answer is Xavier Savage, based on his last 19 games in 2025, where he made 33 errors. Well, that's the end of the quiz. Please don't forget to comment your final scores out of 17 questions. And here's a massive shout out to Jacob Cooper, all stars who got a perfect score in the previous quiz. And not forgetting a Hill, 685 Coco, Luella Rooster and Harry C. Thank you all for watching and see you in the next quiz, because rugby league is the greatest game ever.